career, Bugs would have to face many foes who's aiming him to be dead or dinner. They can range from Yosemite Sam, whose tyranny always gets foiled and leaves him with nothing but having a hot temper. There's Marvin the Martian, who aims for complete world destruction, but the only thing in his way is the rabbit. And also there's the Tasmanian Devil, the most threatening animal that nature could offer, but has to learn the hard way of brain over brawn. However, let us not forget about the original antagonist, the one that Bugs would train his wits at and be considered the most famous rival among the Looney Tunes characters. Now be very, very quiet. I'm talking about Elmer Fudd. Ha! Although his goal is to hunt rabbits for sport, Elmer is not really a bad guy. He's more of your mild-mannered, typical man that may not be the smartest one with a gun. But what does make him unique is his more, irregular speech pattern. Now, what makes his origins very fascinating is that he may not have started out the way you think he did. In fact, he didn't even start out as Elmer Fudd. If we move back to 1937, Tex Avery introduced a character called Egghead in Egghead Rides Again, who was modeled after Ripley's Believe It or Not founder, Robert Ripley. He wouldn't become a hunter until his third cartoon in Daffy Duck and Egghead, and since then, the character became a staple in Avery's cartoons throughout the 1930s. But then in 1939, something happened that would change the character. In the cartoon Dangerous Dan McFoo, the title character was voiced by Arthur Q. Bryan, delivering a special way of speaking for the character.
Dan, be careful!
Don't worry, honey. I'm not hurt a bit, and I'll be white out.
This would give the guys at Termite Terrace the idea of taking a bit of the appearance of Egghead and the voice of Dan McFoo and turn him into an all-new character, Elmer Fudd. Starting with the Chuck Jones cartoon on March 2nd, 1940, Elmer's Candid Camera. However, he would only be wearing Egghead's clothes a few more times up to 1941's Elmer's Pet Rabbit. But when it comes to the legendary hunter we all know and love, he would go on his first hunt for wabbits in the 1940 Tex Avery cartoon, A Wild Hare, which is Elmer's only Oscar-nominated tune. Between 1941 and 1942, there was an awkward period where, oh boy, how can I put this? He got really big. And I do not mean by his popularity. Starting with 1941's Wabbit Trouble, Elmer was given a new design to be modeled after Arthur Q. Bryan, resulting him to be completely fat. This look really didn't suit well for the character, and only kept him big for only 3 additional cartoons and the War Bonds commercial, Any Bonds Today, returning back to his original design with the 1942 The Harebrained Hypnotist. From then on, Elmer would become the most popular antagonist in the Looney Tunes cartoons, where he would be up against Bugs Bunny. Sometimes, he would even go out to hunt for Daffy Duck, or even both, like in the beloved Hunting Trilogy, which is a set of 3 cartoons by Chuck Jones that includes 1951's Rabbit Fire, 1952's Rabbit Seasoning, and 1953's Duck Rabbit Duck. Also, there would be a few times when Elmer doesn't even hunt and would star in a few cartoons by Friz Freleng with Sylvester. But among all the cartoons, Elmer's defining point in his career would be when he would star next to Bugs in a parody of Wagner's operas that would be regarded as the greatest cartoon of all time, the 1957 Chuck Jones masterpiece, What's Opera Doc?
Kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit.
Kill the wabbit?
A cartoon that is so legendary that in 1992, it was the first Looney Tunes cartoon to be inducted in the National Film Registry by the United States Library of Congress. Without counting the ones with Egghead, Elmer appeared in a total of 60 cartoons during the Golden Era, with his final tune being the 1962's Crow's Feet. During that time, though, it wasn't always Arthur Q. Bryan who provided the voice, since he unfortunately died of a sudden heart attack in 1959. Other voice actors had to fill him in, like Dave Barry, Hal Smith, and even Mel Blanc had to say a few lines in the cartoons and completely become Fudd during the 70s and 80s. After Elmer settled down from hunting, he wouldn't make a comeback until the 90s, when he would appear in new cartoons including 1990's Box Office Bunny, 1991's Blooper Bunny, and 1992's Invasion of the Bunny Snatchers. On television, among his many appearances, he was also the favorite teacher to Elmira Duff in Tiny Toons Adventures. This is on top of his movie roles as a basketball player in Space Jam and as one of Acme's secret agents in Looney Tunes Back in Action. After the days of Brian and Blank, there have been plenty of voice actors who tried to become the Fudd, including Jeff Bergman, Greg Burson, and especially Billy West. In 2012, Elmer would once again return to the big screen before Journey to the Mysterious Island to become computer animated with Daffy in Daffy's Rhapsody. From then on, the popularity of Elmer Fudd would be so well known that even Google has a setting that you can change the language to become Elmer Fudd, where it's like if Elmer himself is guiding you throughout the internet. But even if he didn't fully capture the Wabbit, his legacy within the cartoons is forever bigger than anything that can be hunted. For there would be no Bugs Bunny without Elmer Fudd, and vice versa.
Shh! Be very, very quiet. We're hunting Elmers. Ha ha ha!
See ya, see you later, dudes!